Hey, Nikki.
Do you have your coffee ready?
Yes, girl, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yes, let's get into the chat.
Let's get into the chat.
Hello, darling.
Hi, Nikki. How are you doing?
How are you? I am doing okay.
What was that Aish about?
Just the usual morning stuff.
Hey,
My
morning.
brain. It's morning. It feels like Monday morning, but how are you? What's new?
Oh, freezing. Like I've been sitting in the sun. I'm sitting in the sun right now, just trying to warm up. But winter. We're always
You
shocked
know
as South
what?
Africans say when it arrives. We're always shocked, but
It's because indoors is the killer, really. It's not the outdoors.
right?
So I think that's why we're shocked, because I think it's more that the brain doesn't understand what's happening. The brain doesn't compute that we are indoors and we are freezing.
Mm. No, I hear you.
So,
But
you
winter's
know,
my favorite, eh? I love winter. Winter's my favorite
what?
season. Yes. The
Tell me
food, the clothes,
why.
the mood, just cozy. I love it.
What is the mood? Because you say you're freezing. Isn't that the mood?
I'm not, I was actually reading something this morning that said there's no such thing as cold. Cold doesn't exist. It's an absence of heat. Like they had to
Yeah.
invent a metric system to actually give measurement to cold. It's a non-existent thing. So I'm not really cold. I'm just, a little bit devoid of heat right now.
Lord have mercy.
I know.
That sounds more depressing, though.
Oh
Void
no.
of.
No. This is my favorite season. My favorite season. I suppose also
So,
it's where you are.
I
In,
guess.
yeah.
But then tell me, what is something that you like doing in winter that just makes you go like, ugh, I love this? Like, what is the thing, the winter thing?
There's nothing really in particular, hey. I feel like in summer I get lethargic very quickly because it's so hot. And in winter, you can always layer up more. And then because when it's hot, there's only so far you can go with trying to cool down. And in the winter, you can layer up more. And I think it's because I love the clothing. I love to layer. I love coats. I love boots. I love, that sort of thing. And it's easier for me to actually go out there and do stuff. And maybe I'm just, cold-blooded.
Maybe. I used to think that. You know, the other day I was sitting and was in bed and it was cold and I was, just in like a nightie. And I was thinking to myself, should I wear like something warmer? But then I'm like, no, but then I'm gonna get hot because I'm not cold.
Mm,
I actually had this moment of awareness of my body temperature,
mm.
and I could feel the different parts of my body that feels cold. Like my head felt cold, and I don't know if you've ever experienced when your head sort of hurts a little because of the cold.
Mm, mm.
So I had that, and then I put on a headband, and then I felt my fingertips, like when you're using your phone in the cold, and you can feel like the hands are
It's
they're
icy.
starting to, yeah. So I had that, but I could feel that my core temperature was really warm. Like I could feel almost like the blood in my body that's warm, and that was keeping me really warm. And I felt it was so fascinating that I could have that
An
awareness in
internal
such.
awareness experience. No, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
it was so amazing. Like I actually sat in that moment and just imagined all of my blood moving through my body and feel so like a witch, you know? It's like the scene from Avatar when they're using their own blood.
I hear
But
you. And
I don't know,
the
I
strange
just
thing is
love
that sorry. The strange thing that you're not saying that is for me, I have to be cold to be able to fall asleep. I get tired when I'm cold. You know, when some people say when they get warm, they get sleepy. It's the opposite for me. When I'm cold, I get sleepy.
mm,
But sometimes like
interesting because when you are too cold, you fall asleep because of your body. There's something, you know, like in the I somehow remember episodes from The Bold and the Beautiful where they were in the snowstorm in a cave and they weren't together. Um, it was Taylor and some other guy, and they were so cold. And the important thing was not to fall asleep.
yeah, because then your
So something
temperature drops.
about hypothermia and
Uh,
falling asleep, like it could lead to death. So I wonder if your body's not overtired because it was trying to keep warm, and now it's crashing, sort of.
I don't know. It's just always been that way. I've
It's
just
pretty
always
interesting.
been that way. You know, like when you know the jokes that go around that if you work in an office and the people always turn up the aircon so high and it's freezing.
Yeah.
At one point I used to work for a company and I my desk was right below the air vent. So I was sitting in that cold air all the time. So I'd be yawning all day. And one of my
Wow.
colleagues would always just send me a message it's like the boss is looking right at you. I'd be like, I can't help it. I'm freezing over here. So I'd be cold. I'd be sitting there so cold and I'd be yawning because I'm getting tired. It's weird. It's just super weird.
That is so interesting. You
Mm.
know, I have a trick like when I'm driving and I'm starting to get sleepy, that I'll just like either if it's I'll just make it cold. So whatever the temperature is, I'll make myself really cold. So I'll either up the AC or I'll put the heat lower if it's winter. Because the cold keeps me awake.
My sister's like that. Especially with long distance driving, the AC's got to be so blown up, or all the windows is wet. I'm like, what for what?
Because I fall asleep, like I need to be awake. But that's so interesting. I like that. I'm gonna chat GPT it. I don't Google anymore. I just chat GPT.
GPZ. You know, I call ChatGPT GPT. That's
Oh yeah, no.
that's my nickname
I
for
just
my
call
chat.
it chat. But yeah,
GPT.
I'm gonna ask it. Why is my friend falling asleep in the cold? What's happening with her body?
I know it's definitely got to do. I think also it's got to do with I don't know. I'm being
You know,
metaphysical about it. Maybe I slow my heart down so much that my
it
body
can be.
temperature drops. Yeah, sometimes.
And also like so I'm thinking of two things. There's one where you see I like mysteries, né? There's one where, you know, couples, this constant or this universal issue where one person needs the AC on at night and the other
Mm,
person is too cold. So it could be that. But then the other thing is it could be that you were conditioned to fall asleep when it was pretty cold and your body's become accustomed to it's almost like a cue.
mm,
Cold means sleep.
sleep.
So that could be interesting. Oh, I'm so interested now.
So
You
now I'm your
must do
case study,
research for
Nikki.
it.
Am I your case study now?
Yes, I
Yes, I
love
want a
case
full
studies.
report.
Please send me all your what is this your
My
medical
symptoms.
history, your sleep history.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah, Nia.
what do you got planned for today?
I've got some things that I'm planning for a seminar for August. So I've got to get a couple of admin things done, get hold of my graphic designer just to put some things together. And then I need to email my printers for a client. This is basically just an admin day today, and I hate admin. But I mean, somebody got to do it.
Somebody.
Um,
Somebody gotta do this stuff.
how about you?
Nux. I wanna write today. I know I have to do something today. I have to do some ads
Mm,
today. So today's a marketing day. And yeah, I want to do that. And I also want to figure out something to improve. I saw this thing. I like Japanese philosophy,
mm,
and they have one point of philosophy in business, Kaizen.
mm.
It means to improve
Improve.
every day.
Mm.
So
My
even if
son,
it's
my
like,
son's name is Kaizen.
is it?
Mm.
Love it. Oh my God, I love that. So even if it's like 0.1% that you're improving every day, you have to
Mm.
do it. So I want to figure out what is the thing that I can sort of study or whatever, because I stopped my Duolingo.
Mm.
I was bored of that Spanish now because there's a point where you're like, okay, I'm good now. I can understand now. I know it. My whole soul. We Espanol now. So I'm like, I have had enough of that. And then my books are not giving me that. So I
Mm.
need either another book or a course or a YouTube channel or something, because I'm also over the channels that I've been watching. It's like I've been through like, I don't know if a cycle has completed or,
Mm.
something like that happened. And now I feel like I'm with my system. So my soul, my mind, all of that. They like, just, we have to figure out something new now. And I've never had that.
Really? It's a
It's like
great place to be, hey, because
everything.
then it unlocks a different aspect of you. You know how when if you look at how much of the brain we actually use on a regular basis and how much of the brain we actually use in our lifetime. Some of us we stay in a job and it's not like I'm judging. I mean, that's how life dictates it must be. We stay in one particular job for 20, 30 years, or you live in one city for all your life or whatever. And there are parts of you that never really get unlocked and explored. And I love when those sort of things happen where you feel sort of bored about a particular thing or particular place or an experience or something you're learning. And then it's an opportunity for your brain to, tap into some other different level about you.
Right. So I kind of know the boredom. I've had that before
Mm,
where I need like a extra hobby or a new hobby or something like
mm.
that. But this feels different. This feels like graduation.
I like that.
I just had like goosebumps because before the hike, oh my God, I remember a conversation with what did you say, Japeezy?
Cheap
Jumpy,
easy.
whatever, GPZ. I remember where we reflected on how the hike was going to be like a ceremony of sorts, like a graduate,
Mm,
And now when I said graduation, it linked to that.
mm,
And yesterday was the month anniversary of this hike that I went on.
mm.
And I think that hike just was so um what is it? Transformative.
Mm, mm.
And so I don't know, just that graduation feeling, like, when you throw your books away, you're done now. We all have, I don't think anybody ever does it, but we all say, oh, I'm going to burn my books
I did.
after the law. exam. Did you? I
Yeah,
always just
I used to do
symbolically
that.
burnt it, because I'm afraid that the fire's gonna get out of hand and suddenly Table Mountain's burning and it's my fault. But I think I have that feeling like everything is done. It's like you're packing up the books, the interest that I had, and it was the end. And so
And
now
can you
I'm at
remember
the
when you
new.
told me about the hike also? And you even the day or so after when we had a catch up and you were in pain and you were sore and you were still complaining, and I was like, when you look back at this, there are things that are going to come up from that particular experience, and there's a new part of you that's going to view it in a different sort of way. I think that's definitely surfacing now.
No, this is my whole month, okay? My whole month. After the pain went away,
Mm,
the physical pain, came the emotional stuff.
mm.
And so, can I tell you something? I
Yeah.
don't want to sound not arrogant, but kind of. But when I said yes to the hike, it's funny because I know my limitations, okay?
Mm,
I'm not one of those people who's like, yeah, I can't do it, I can't do it, and then I do it, and then I'm like, yeah, I knew I could do it or whatever. I know what I can and can't do, and I know that the body can push itself to do stuff, right?
mm, mm.
But I know how I'm gonna be afterwards.
Yeah.
So I know, okay, I can push, and you're gonna feel like, oh yeah, I told you, but afterwards I'm gonna be dead. So yeah, I did it, but I'm dead. So when I say my limitation, it means my recovery is gonna be long,
Yeah.
and the longer your recovery, that shows your fitness level. So, but when I went, I knew all of this. I knew I was going to be dead the next day. I knew it was not going to be pleasant. But there was some knowing of this is going to be huge.
Mm,
And when I came back, I already started feeling the sort of the crumbs, they were forming.
mm,
But a week after, and then 2 weeks, and then I knew now, okay, yeah, we getting slices of bread now. Okay, the crumbs, they turn to
mm,
slices, and then by week 3 I was making sandwiches, and here we are at week 4 or 5, and it's done. It's
mm.
I've
Feeling full
discovered
circle.
all the things, and I've gone through all the things that I had to lift. It was freaking hard, but that's the things that I go through. Other people go, yeah, I did a hike and it's so amazing. I'm like, yeah,
I was
okay, I did a
about to
hike, and then
say
my
it's
soul
a very
rebirthed.
it's a very self-aware thing to go through something, let's call it something so regular, something so normal, but then to take it to that level of what is this very regular thing teaching me about myself, or allowing the nature of it to unfold in that manner. Because
Yeah,
sometimes you just do stuff to do stuff, you don't really think of it as a big deal, or, like it's going to change you in any kind of way, or it's going to add value, or take something away, even, or something. But I like that you've had that experience from something as simple as a hike. Not that a hike is simple, but
not this hike.
not that hike. No, I know. But it's a wonderful, I'd say, internalization of it, or bringing yourself to center in some way, because nature can do that, especially if it's right out there up in the mountain. Nature will call you back to yourself.
Yes, and it brings you to a very primal version of yourself.
Mm.
Um, and that awareness of how small you actually are, you know?
Wow.
Physically, you're small, like in this vast mountainous land.
Mm.
And then also how in that moment when you are there, nothing matters except for the things that matter there.
There. Mm.
It's very interesting.
Humbling.
Like, yeah,
Humbling as
yeah,
well.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So I felt that it was very humbling. Very, I don't know if it puts perspective onto things. It's like because everything is like real.
Mm.
The fear is real. It's not irrational. I've never had rational fear. I mean, I probably have, but this felt to me like the most rational that fear could ever be.
Mm. Mm.
Like I'm scared of I'm scared of everything. I'm very close to being a phobic kind of person.
Mm.
But that fear is, yeah, you put your foot there, oh yeah, you're gonna fall down. Okay.
Mm. One wrong
Like,
move and it's
yeah,
rolled down.
and sometimes I grabbed onto like these, it was these like grass weeds. They looked like
Mm.
grass, but they were so strong. And you could like hold onto them while you let your body go down, almost like, a rope. And sometimes they were loose. So it's like one wrong grab, it was too real,
Mm.
It
Mm.
was real. Like, ah, that fear is incredible because I'm someone who's used to feeling, anxiety. Like, what are you afraid of? Afraid of being embarrassed, afraid of being rejected, afraid of being whatever
Mm.
irrational shit. And even a small spider, you're like, oh my God, there's a spider. I'll really freak out. But then, first of all, the spider,
Is more freaked out about you.
he is literally, he has the rational fear. I have the irrational fear. And it's like, so when you're on the mountain and you're going through that, it really feels like your life is real now. It's really real right now. That was interesting for me.
How would you compare that sort of idea of perception being reality, or what you feel, life is real out there right now? How would you compare that to, let's say, 10 years ago? Would you have had those same sort of ideas? Would you have had those same sort of feelings around fear and what is real fear, like rational fear that you're saying? Would 20 something year old you have thought that way?
Back then, the irrational was very rational for me.
So I'm just thinking about how when we're young, we sort of don't have this very clear idea. We assume we do of what real life is and about what um the world is. And
I
obviously
think,
your immediate surroundings and environment dictates that, because your experiences going through life is obviously very different person to person.
yeah,
So you
I
have an idea
think,
of what your real life is, but you somehow have this invincibility. You don't really think about what is fear. You don't really think about, unless you live in circumstances that fear dictates your daily day-to-day existence. But on a normal
oh,
general
I got it.
scale, we're
Yeah.
not really thinking about this is real life, or am I experiencing real life?
Okay, I got it. Um, so I did experience things that made me feel um, fear, right?
Mm,
But not about death. Like the things that were happening wouldn't result in my death or
mm,
somebody else's death per se. But there were things that I felt like it's maybe violence around me or, um, that kind of chaos that leads to fear, right? But back then, I didn't have that connection to my emotions that I have now.
mm,
So back then, when I felt fear, I would so almost like dissociate a little bit. Okay, it's not real, it's not happening, I'm
mm,
fine, and then just try to get out of it and then deal with the anxiety afterwards.
mm,
Like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then you try to go on with it, and then you just can't sleep for 3 nights because of the shit that just went down.
yeah.
And when I was even younger, it was worse because you couldn't say you were scared, you couldn't say anything, so you just had to sort of become used to this chaos around you. And I remember now there was a moment in the mountain when we were going up. So it wasn't, this was the first realization where it was like, shit, I'm scared.
Mm,
But I could say it. I could actually say it. I'm scared. I'm actually quite scared now.
mm,
And I could think about why I was scared. And um, obviously, the thing that could make you feel not scared is impossible right now because we're on these, like, we really exposed on this mountain. And some points you can only put like 1 foot
mm,
on the space. So you're quite exposed and you have to keep your balance right. You have to, like, everything is so important in that moment. And I realized that I've never been so in tune with my fear.
yeah.
I've never been able to label it in the moment. It was always afterwards in therapy when you realize, yeah, you shouldn't have had that experience.
Mm,
That was not suitable for you or whatever. But in this moment, I could have that presence.
mm.
Like, this is scary. I am scared. I have to be
Feel your
careful.
feels.
Yeah. And I
Mm,
think that's the difference. 10 years ago, I was not connected to my emotions. Things like fear and anger would just be repressed and come out in other ways. Um, and or they'd be delayed responses, so you
yeah.
can feel it 5 weeks later when you're safe and whatever. So yeah, that was interesting, and I think that was why it was such a big deal for me and why I could connect to this primal fear, because it was real time in the moment, right now. No
Yeah.
suppressing, no dissociating. We there.
I think also
And that was
because of how our lives are set up, we're not allowed to have moments like that. We
for
have to
sure.
just keep going. When something happens,
Yeah.
you sort of pushed into survival mode in a different sort of context where you have to get up and you have to go work and you have to get the house ready and you have to take care of the family and you have to, just keep it moving, just keep it moving. But when you remove all of that external stuff that we build as life, real life in inverted commas, when that's removed, you're able to really look at yourself as just this being that needs to just be here now, me, myself. Yo, it's so interesting. It's so interesting.
Yeah, presence is so important. It's this is something that I wish I knew even in my teens, but
Mm,
definitely in my 20s, that your emotions are like in real time. Your emotions are so important, like connecting to your emotions. Like knowing that right now I'm feeling happy, or
Mm.
right now I'm feeling sad, or right now I'm feeling scared. That is so important because I feel in my childhood, I was actually taught to freeze.
Mm.
Because I remember earlier on when I would have expressions of fear or let's even forget anger because we were not allowed to be angry, were we?
No.
But look at fear. I wasn't allowed to respond in the healthy way when stuff was happening.
Mm-hmm.
I was I was shushed, you know?
Mm.
Don't react or don't make a sound or don't whatever. Don't react, which is really to a child, don't express.
Yeah.
And then you internalize that as don't feel.
Mm.
Because if you don't feel, you won't express.
Mm. Mm.
Um, so in that way, we kind of learn, we forced to disconnect from our feelings. And then now there's sort of this come to Jesus moment where I'm totally in my feels. Isn't there a song? I'm in my feels. Totally in my feels. And even if you don't like it, I don't care. You're not going to sugarcoat that this is a nice experience and I'm freaking out. I'm going to freak out. And
Mm.
you don't have to, but I will.
It's
Um,
like how when you are a baby, babies have, a very limited way of communicating, but that real, raw, authentic expression, if you're happy, you're laughing. If you're in distress, or if you're hungry, or if you're mad about something, the terrible twos where everything is a tantrum, a baby is going to express it, whether you care about
yeah,
it or not, whether they bothered about anybody else's emotion around it, or how anybody's going to react to it. And I think that's what we condition ourselves around as we get older. It's like, how is the next person going to receive my valid reaction, or my real, authentic reaction to a specific thing? If I laugh too loud, am I going to be embarrassing myself? If I am too happy, or even just like a simple thing of skipping. When last did you skip, Nikki? When last did you when last did you skip
I don't
down
know.
the
I don't
down the
skip.
street, or like just having your physical body express joy? That even
Yeah.
becomes a limitation, because now you are looking at what is the next person going to say, and how is somebody else going to receive your reaction, which is a very inauthentic manner to be conducting ourselves.
Yeah, because we shouldn't be thinking about other people.
Mm.
Aish.
Unfortunately, we
Like, why do
do.
we care more about other people's feelings than our own? Right? I have to worry how that person's gonna feel.
Mm.
Or they gonna be uncomfortable, or they gonna approve, or they, you know what? Let me not say what I want to say about them people, but that's something that I also wish that, because this whole week my theme is self-compassion, was my blog. I don't know if you read my blog, and also in my book, like I'm writing this chapter on compassion. And I wish, I grew up in this space of being kind to yourself,
Mm.
of valuing your opinion, your feelings, your joy, your happiness, and taking care of your things, taking care of yourself, and not worrying so much about other people. But I think we are so obsessed with others. Like, are they, happy with who I am? Why does it matter? Like, honestly, why does it matter if other people are happy about who we are?
I think it's because we've built this idea that you need to be accommodating to the next person. You need to be validated by someone else's opinion or idea of you. And you somehow it shows humility, you're not conceited or vain if you are considering the next person more than yourself. And
That's why some people don't know that compassion can be inward.
mm,
They only think it's outward because we are always focusing on other people.
mm,
We think if we focus any good things inward, then that's now conceited or arrogance or vanity.
or selfish even.
But it's like that. I just thought now about the line beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Because look, if I'm looking at you, only you can say I'm beautiful
Mm,
because you're looking at me.
mm,
And I think that's the thing, is that we're always thinking we're in the center of a circle full of people and all eyes are on us.
mm.
But we must think of ourselves as all standing in a line. We're not looking at each other, we're just looking out there into life, into our path, our journey. Just focus on your journey and leave my face alone. Stop judging my face. Stop telling me I'm
Leave my
beautiful or
face
I'm
alone.
not. Like, nobody cares what you think because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I'm only beautiful if you think
If
it.
you think yeah.
We should be teaching kids that it's not even about being beautiful, because actually it's about what's on the inside, and that makes you beautiful. Beauty is not something you look at.
It's something you actually really feel. I agree with you on that because if you think of when you meet someone, right? Yes, you look at their physical appearance first, but the more you get to know them, and if this person is a genuine character and their personality is radiant, the more attractive they actually become to you, the more you find qualities that make them even more beautiful. Like, the more genuine somebody is, the more authentic someone is, the more interesting they are, the more they sort of, emanate this a different sort of beautiful, I think.
I like in Afrikaans the word skoonheid. It doesn't make you feel like is skoonheid beauty, right?
Skoonheid is beauty,
Beeldskoon,
feels skoon.
skoonheid. I don't know those words. Like, it doesn't sound like it means they are attractive.
It's got more to do with clean image. You define beeldskoon, it's a clean image or a clean vision, you know. That is, now that you're making me think, oh, language. I'm sorry, but sometimes English just doesn't cut it.
It doesn't. English is actually quite judgmental.
No, I hear you.
See, when I think of real beauty, I think of music, I think art, because it makes me feel something.
Mm,
It's not about, oh, this painting isn't beautiful because of how it looks. It's beautiful because it makes me feel something,
mm.
right? Oh, that's so cool. I love that.
It's powerful.
We must have, like, when you're coming to Cape Town, we must have a glass of wine. I feel like we need to be in an art gallery
I
or
I
like,
I I've been wanting, and I haven't been to Cape Town in probably 9 years. The last time I was in Cape Town was with my book tour 2018. It's been too long. I'm definitely trying to get out there. Also, we need to record an episode live, me and you.
yes, I would like that. Okay, doll, have a lovely day. Till
And
next
you.
time.
See you in the next chat.
Bye.
Bye.